How did it just feel for you guys out there, kind of emotionally?
We were definitely disappointed because we knew that we were going to have some of our freshmen or guys that don't pitch as much pitch today. And we were all excited for them to throw because they obviously don't throw very much. And they were excited too, but obviously they just didn't have their best stuff today and just wasn't throwing strikes. So.
Is this kind of a testament to how good the bullpen and starters have been, that it took 27 games for a game like this to happen?
Yeah, we would have liked those guys to do good for us today, but we still know that our bullpen is still really good, and our starters are obviously really good. And even the guys that threw tonight, they were good pitchers. They just had off days, so they'll bounce back, like we all will.
Was there any kind of fatigue after that game on Sunday? Maybe not tonight, but Monday.
Yes, there is, but it's also not an excuse for what happened. We should have still just came out and just
took care of business.
Yeah.
You did get the 3 runs back in the first inning, but then they put a 5-spot up. I mean, did it feel like you guys didn't really have the, wherewithal to come back like maybe in Sunday?
I felt like whenever they went up 3 in the first, I think it was 3 or 4, we knew that obviously our hitting is really good, and we knew that we were going to come back. And I think they just put up that other big spot, and I feel like we all kind of mentally checked out, which we shouldn't have. But then we obviously tried battling back at the end, and it showed. That we had a little bit of heart in us to come back. So.
Is it just draining or tough just playing that far behind, back-to-back games like that, and knowing like right off the bat you got big deficits you got to try to make up?
Yeah, I'd say it's tough, but we're all really close and we pick each other up, and that's been kind of what we're sticking with this year, just trying to pick each other up, no matter how big the deficit.
Does it take some getting used to, just like how often you guys have been ahead this year, to kind of like when you're in that position to take a step back and try to like refocus?
I'd say we've stayed pretty much the same, right?
Yeah,
we don't change anything. We just stick with the same game plan, chip away, and
How do you think that will help just going on throughout the season? I know you guys have been down the last couple of games, but you've been able to respond pretty quickly. How do you think that will help just through the rest of the season, especially when there's some tighter games or you have to fight for body?
I feel like it's going to obviously help us a lot, just mentally. I don't know.
Mentally being able to grind games out when you're behind and being able to stay in games, I think is huge down the road, especially against some of the conference teams we're playing coming up. So,
do you guys feel just more pressure just on the way the season started and how quickly you guys have risen up the rankings and just how well you've played early to try to keep that going?
Not really for now, because I think we are still trying to go out there and just prove to everyone who we are and what we can do.
With the way you guys started so hot, does losing a game like this against a team that hadn't won a lot of games this year, does it maybe motivate you guys in a different way, or maybe give you guys something you guys can use in a different way?
We'll look at this game, learn from it, and move on. That's probably the biggest thing, is growing from this as best we can.
Yeah.
So
just moving on from
and just flushing it, and next game.
Like Skip said,
we know we're good.
Like Skip said, it was a good thing it wasn't a conference game. It was just a midweek game. Obviously we would like to win those, but they're not a bad team. They've had a tough schedule, but we still should have taken care of business.
Are there things to take from this game, or is this just one that you look at as, this happens throughout the course of a season and try to flush it?
I think there's definitely things we can take from this game. But yeah, you learn, flush it, move on. That's the biggest thing we can do.
What are some of those things that stand out?
I'd say just filling up the zone on the mound, competing. I think today we were kind of flat, and just keeping energy, in any game we play were some of the few things that I'm taking away from it, at least.
How important are these next 2 weeks going to be for you guys?
Obviously, they're important just because they're conference games, but we're just going to look at it like the next game.
Game by game.
Yeah, just moving
Game by
forward.
game.